What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the KBR show. This is yours truly, King Buddy Ray. Sorry, it's been a little bit since we've been on. We haven't been on since Monday. Was going to hop on Thursday evening, but during the fourth quarter of the NBA Finals Game 1, I lost power. It went dark in here, so pulled out the iPad, finished watching it on the iPad Thursday evening and actually slept outside. So that was kind of fun. But power luckily came back on early Friday morning at like 6:30. So that was fun to say the least. But we have a lot to catch up on. So let's get started with the NBA Finals of Game 1, best of 7 series. Oklahoma City Thunder hosting the Indianapolis Pacers. First time for the Pacers in 25 years being back in the finals. And first time since 2012 for the Oklahoma City Thunder being back in the finals. So you get to your pregame. Teams that win game 1, 71% chance of winning the NBA Finals. So it is a big game. Whoever wins game 1, more than likely, based off the analytics, wins it. So you're thinking pregame, okay, Thunder have size. They're going to beat up on size. Oh, wait a second. We've made it this far, but we're going to make a difference. Casey Wallace starts, they go small. Would it pay off? Maybe, maybe not. SGA is going to do his thing. Can the Pacers at least make him work for it, not foul him, slow him down a little bit? Can Halliburton get going when they need to? Can he be productive? Can he get some boards? Can he get some assists? He did have a double-double. We'll get into his stats in a minute. Can Pascal play? As we noticed in last series, when he was playing well, they won. When he was playing bad, they lost. So he's a big difference factor here. Battle of the point guards. Tyrese Halliburton averaged 9.8 assists coming into the game, and SGA has averaged 29.8, so pretty much 30 points a game coming into the game. And only 3 players have ever played in the NBA Finals. Alex Caruso back in the 2020 with the Lakers. James Johnson, who doesn't really play for them, so we won't count him, but he did play in one. And then Pascal Siakam back when he was with the Claw, Kawhi Leonard himself, and the Toronto Raptors. So it was very, very good. Different attack here. Andrew Nembhard started on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That was an interesting thing. The Thunder come out hot, though. The Thunder came out on a 7-0 start. Pacers call timeout early. Really big there. And then Pacers respond with a 10-3 run themselves to tie the game. SGA had early 9 points there. But the Pacers, they were turning the ball over. But the biggest thing was it was dead ball turnovers. They threw the ball out of bounds. They had shot clock. It wasn't no live ball turnovers, so that did make a little bit of a difference. 9 of the early turnovers, 7 of them were dead balls, so Oklahoma City did not get any points off of them. Just more shot attempts, obviously. It was 25-15 Pacers towards the end of the first quarter, up to 10 turnovers now. SGA still pushing the pace. He hadn't missed a mid-range shot yet. Anything from the mid-range, he was 6 of 6 on in the first quarter. At the end of one, it was 29-20. But you as a Pacers fan, you're happy because you had 11 turnovers in the first quarter and you're down by 9. You should be very happy. The Pacers start the second quarter with 3 points, bringing the game within 6, but couldn't get much closer than there. The Thunder also beating the Pacers at their own game and turning up the pace. They were turning up the pace. They were running and gunning the whole first half as well. And forcing turnovers, which we all know the Pacers were huge for against the Knicks. That's 17 turnovers at the 4-minute mark in the second quarter. So, to Oklahoma City's only 4. So it was crazy. Most half of any season, they've actually only averaged, 12 all year. So to have that many in the first half is nuts. Most half of any season. Lou Dort had 9 first half points, 3 of 3 from deep. SGA had 19 in the first half. And then the Thunder eventually ended the first half with 20 total turnovers. And at the half, the score was 57-45 in the favor of the Oklahoma City Thunder. But if you're a Thunder fan, you're a little worried. You're up 12. Yeah, but you forced 20 turnovers and took 18 more shots. You're like, I should be up more. Why am I not up more? That's what I was thinking. Why aren't the Thunder up more here? Why? Why aren't the Thunder up more when they forced 20 turnovers, taking 18 more shots, and only up 12? It was very, very, It was like, where are you leaning? Do you lean towards the Pacers? Do you lean towards the Thunder? What do you think? The Pacers actually had better shooting as well. They were shooting 51% in the first half compared to Oklahoma City's 42% in the first half. Halliburton only had 6 points on 5 shots. He had 7 boards. Jay Will was only 2 of 7. Chet was 1 of 6. SGA was really carrying the load. The Pacers were just doing their thing on defense. They were just turning the ball over on offense. They were just turning the ball over. That's really the difference in the first half. So you're kind of happy. Can they clean it up? Yes, they could. They came out much cleaner in the second half. Pascal Siakam started the third quarter on a bang with a quick early 5 points there. Lou Dort continued his hotness, and he had 4 steals in the first half as well. He made one more three in the third quarter. Toppin came out hot in the third quarter. He had 9 points of 3 of 5 from deep in the third quarter alone. And he had great help defense, had a couple key blocks to kind of keep the lead smaller. And then at the end of 3, the Thunder are only up 9. So you're like, okay, up 9, cut the deficit a little bit from 12 to 9. You're happy. You're happy going into the fourth quarter. But the Thunder come out and take it to a 15-point lead to start the quarter because of more turnovers and more pressure defense. Tyrese Halliburton only sat 2 minutes compared to SGA's 6 there. I think that was key. They brought him back in at a key point there. Pacers are up to 24 turnovers at this point with about 7 minutes left in the game. But after this, they don't turn the ball over again for the rest of the game. Hint, hint. But Oklahoma City had 6. The Pacers got within 4 with 6 minutes left. Both teams went small, and I mean small. Jay Will played the 5, and Pascal played the 5. No Chet, no Harkenstein, no Turner, no Bryant, no Bradley. None of them. They both went small, so that was very interesting to see. Neesmith hit a key 3 to bring it down to 3, and then Pacers ended it on a 6-0 run to end the game on a 12-2 run total. Mr. Halliburton pulled up from mid-range, step back, bang, as Mike Breen calls it. It's just, he doesn't really say it on 2s, but he said it on 2 this time. So, bang, he hit the 2. Game winner with about 0.3 left. The Pacers won 110 to 109. Very sloppy ending for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if you're a Thunder fan, you're worried. You played a good game. You forced 24 turnovers, and you still lost. Because Mr. Clutch himself, 5-1 in clutch games this postseason, did it again. 111 to 109. Some afterthoughts of the game. They'll come back, kids. Do it again. Burt hits his game winner. Like I said, 5-1 in close game. Tyrese Halliburton, that is Mr. Clutch. Pascal Siakam had 19 points on 10 boards and 7 to 15 shooting. Aaron Neesmith added 10 points. Miles Turner had 15, which is good for him. Andrew Nembhard made SGA work. He let SGA have 38 points, but he made SGA work, and he also chipped in 14 as well. Tyrese Halliburton only had 14 points, but he had two big points to end the game, obviously. He had 10 boards and 6 assists. The Pacers had 24 total turnovers, but only 0 in the final 8 minutes of the ball game. Now to some stats for the Thunder. Chet had 6 points. That was a big miss. So if you're Thunder fans, you know that's probably not happening every game. So there's a little bright side for you guys. And on 2 of 9, Jay Will had 17. Dort had 15 on 5 of 9. He started 5 of 5, so he got a little cold after. And then SGA had 38 points. So if you're a Pacers fan, you won that game. You play very sloppy. You're happy. What happens game 2? We'll find out tomorrow. But we'll find out what happens. Does it go? Do the Pacers go back to Indiana just like they did against New York, up 2-0? If they do, you should be worried, Thunder's fans. Do the Thunder tie it 1-1 going back? We'll see. Game 2 of this series tomorrow night on ABC at 8:30. And then Game 3. What is Game 3? It's hard to remember because they don't do every other day like they do and now all the other freaking rounds. So it's confusing. So Game 3 will be Wednesday. So Game 2 tomorrow, 8:30 ABC. Game 3 on Wednesday. What happens? My prediction pre-series was Thunder in 5. I'll stick with it. They played well. They just a little choke. I think Thunder are going to win Game 2, come out and win Game 3. Maybe a reverse sweep. Maybe. If I had this, I think Thunder is still going to win, but I'm going to switch it to Thunder in 7 instead of Thunder in 5 like I did off the jump. But I still think Thunder are going to win. So Thunder in 7 games for me now. I had Thunder in 5, but Pacers actually showed up. So we'll see what happens. Thunder versus Pacers, Game 2 tomorrow night at 8:30 on the ABC network. So that is it for NBA basketball, obviously, because that's the only games playing right now. But now we're going to jump back a few days since we missed it because I was a little lazy on Wednesday, didn't feel like shooting a podcast, and then Thursday, obviously, the power went out. And then last night, we were supposed to have a Bucks game, but it got rained out, but still didn't get home till later. So we're going to recap Tuesday night's ball game. We had a different starting lineup. We had Nick Stavros batting first. Josh Eberle obviously was not there. And then we had John Siciliano, Kevin Nevedo, Luke Shiflett, Luke Tumacek, Christian Flip Harris, Archie Elio, the Italian lefty, was in, TJ Johnson, Isaac Sumter, and then first pitching appearance of the season from Jackson Sherman, and he pitched well. And we welcome the Montezuma Braves, always a fun atmosphere against that team. My second favorite field behind the Buck Bowman Cloverdome. That's a great field. If you've never been to Montezuma, shout out to those guys. They make that field nice. It's a great place to go, and it's actually closer. But also a great place to play. The Bucks will actually be playing there next Saturday evening. We brought them in. Then the Braves struck first. Jackson walks the first batter of the game. Then Kyle Armstrong hits a single, moves the guy to third base. We turned to 6-4-3 double play. Got 2 outs, but the dude from third scored. And then the Bucks come in the bottom of the first with an answer. They score 4 runs. They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first. Josh struck out. John was walked. Kevin hit a double. Burned the center fielder. Center fielder comes in on the first little look, and then burns him. Hits a double. Luke Shiflett gets a single to score 1. Then Luke Tumacek gets out but scores another run, and then Mr. Flip Harris, Mr. Christian, Flip's his nickname, Christian Harris, hits a 2-run dinger to center field to make the score 4-1 after 1. And the Bucks did not look back from there. Yes, we allowed 2 more runs in the top of the second to make it 4-3 off throwing errors from the Bucks. We threw the ball into center field on a stolen base, and then those 2 runs eventually came in to score because we threw the ball away. So those were all unearned there. It was a throwing error on a stolen base, which led to those. But then the Bucks strike back again, and then Blake Arganbright for the Braves came in the pitch in the third when it was what was the score at that point? 8-3, and he only allowed 1 more run. He pitched well. Maybe he should have started. Sorry, Coach Rush. I like you, but maybe. But it's what happens sometimes. If he was started, it could have been flipped. It could have been reversed. He put down 6 in a row to come in. He was very big there. But for the Bucks, Sherman pitched the start, and then Tanner Moyers came in, and then Tyler Conlon comes in for an inning, and then Archie Elliott comes in and slams the door shut for the Bucks. and this ended in 8 innings. The Bucks had 13 runs on 11 hits and 2 errors, and then the Braves had 3 runs on 4 hits and 5 errors, or 3 runs on 5 hits and 5 errors. My apologies, I misread my notes over here. So, very fun game, always a fun crowd with Montezuma, second biggest rival behind Bridgewater. But guess what? We play the Bridgewater Reds tonight. But first, up to other action in the RCBL this week. On June 4th, which was Wednesday, Massanutten beat Stuart Straff Diamondbacks 16-14. Anyone that knows anything about the Diamondbacks, you've got to out-hit them. They don't have the best of pitching, but they can really hit the ball. You will hear Kevin Chandler in any interview that he has, you've got to out-hit the Diamondbacks because they are going to hit. You've got to out-hit them because they don't have pitching, so they're going to hit, and you've got to out-hit them. So Massanutten did that on Wednesday night, won 16-14. And the other game in action on Wednesday night was the Bridgewater Reds traveling to Stonewall Jackson Field and beat the Elkton Blue Sox to make them remain winless 16-8. And then tonight's action, the Blue Sox of Elkton will travel to Montezuma to play the Braves, and then Stuart Straff will travel to Broadway at Broadway High School to play the Broadway Bruins, who are undefeated. So Stuart Straff, come to play, knock them out. Let's see what happens there. And then the Clover Hill Bucks welcome in big-time crosstown rival Bridgewater Reds tonight for Game 3 of the series this year, Game 3 of 4. So we play them 4 times during the regular season. This is the 3rd time we won the first 2, 10-1 and 10-2. So can we do it again? We will see. Will Chris Huffman start? He has had 1 scoreless outing so far, 5 2/3 or 5 1/3, I think. And will he play against us? Will he not? Will Derek Shiflett play in any game? We will see tonight, 7:45. The Bridgewater Reds come in to Buck Bowman Park, the Clover Dome, home of the Clover Hill Bucks, 7:45. Yours truly will be in the press box calling the game. Y'all have to listen to me if you come out, so sorry in advance for that. But it should be a fun atmosphere, especially on a Saturday evening of baseball, and it's supposed to be beautiful, no rain. So it should be a nice one. Then tomorrow, they have the Montezuma Braves traveling to Elkton to play the Blue Sox. And then the Bridgewater Reds are back in action tomorrow against the Broadway Bruins at Broadway High School. And then an added game to the schedule, last night's game is moved to Tuesday, so the Clover Hill Bucks will welcome in Broadway, maybe. The undefeated Broadway Bruins, we'll see if they can beat Stuart Straff tonight. That should be a fun one on Tuesday evening. And my work, Valley Roofing and Exteriors, is actually sponsoring tonight's game, so it should be a fun one. Admission is free for all Rockingham County baseball games, so catch out the action. If you forget the nights of games, feel free to text me. I'll let you know who's playing, and or go to RCBL.com or the Point Streak app to see those. So the Bucks are back in action this evening against the Bridgewater Reds at 7:45 at the Clover Dome. Can the Bucks remain hot with the bat? And can the arms remain hot out of the bullpen? We will see. Will we see Huffman? Will we see Shiflett? Will we see neither of them? Will we see someone else? I don't know. But come out 7:45 tonight and check it out. It is always a fun time up at the Clover Dome in Clover Hill. So that is it for RCBL action. We'll be back either Sunday evening after the NBA game or Monday evening to recap those games along with the NBA game as well. So it should be a fun one. Now to the French Open. The French Open Finals is this weekend. The women's is actually underway. Let's see if that is over yet. Let's pull it up. It is over. The American Coco Gauff wins in 3 sets. Loses the first set to the 1 seed. 1v2. Gauff is the 2 seed who gets, Sabalenka. Sabalenka won the first one 7-6, and then Gauff comes in, wins 6-2, 6-4 to end it in 3 sets, and the American wins. And then tomorrow we have a 1v2 again. Yannick Sinner has yet to lose a set. So that should be very interesting against the number 2 seed, defending champion of the clay, at Roland Garros French Open. Carlos Alcaraz, my early pick to win the tournament. We'll see what happens. That is tomorrow at 9 o'clock on TNT. Should be a fun one there. That is a best-of-5 set, so first to win 3 sets there. So good. Congrats to Coco Gauff, the American. Can Carlos win it, or does Yannick stay hot and win 3-0 again? We'll see what happens. NFL news. Aaron Rodgers. Yay! No. Aaron Rodgers signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. It's better than Mason Rudolph. But we signed him. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens and go from there. But I'm hoping it pans out and I'm totally wrong, which I could be. But we will see what happens there. Should be very interesting to lead up to that. They signed him just in time for mandatory mini camps, which start next week there. So it should be fun. My early pick still the Eagles. Some of y'all came at me. Eagles fan, Alexis Miller, shout out to you. You were happy with it. But I heard some craziness from some other people that's crazy because they've traded away a lot of things. But hey, it's my pick, not yours. Like it if you want, hate it if you want. I don't care. That's who I think. Probably going to be wrong, but maybe I'm not. So we'll see what happens. Then to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Edmonton Oilers won Game 1 on Wednesday, and then the Panthers come back last night and win 5-4 in double overtime last night. Game 3 of that will be on Monday. Then the Women's College World Series ended last night. It was Texas Tech versus Texas. Yes, no Oklahoma Sooners. Texas Tech beat them in the semifinals. It was Texas Tech versus the Texas Tech Raiders versus the Texas Longhorns. Hook 'em. Shout out to you, Sutton Hofacker. Hook 'em. Love you. Love you too, Bob. I guess I love Bob. But good old Hook 'em Horns. They got it done. They won Game 1 in a 2-1 fashion. And then they lost on Thursday evening. And then they won last night, taking a 5-0 lead in the first inning, all with 2 outs, and then ended up winning the game 10-4. They finally got it done. They were just happy they didn't have to play Oklahoma. So Sutton, shout out to you. Good old Hook 'em Horns there. Men's College World Series will start next week. It is in the action of Super Regionals. So let's pull up my phone and see what we've got on the Super Regionals. Louisville is up 4-2 right now, and up 1-0 in best of 3 against Miami. North Carolina 0-0 in the bottom of the first. They won yesterday. And then that is all the other games that are in action. You got West Virginia and LSU coming on at 2 o'clock. You got Auburn versus Coastal, with Coastal having a 1-0 lead. You've got Tennessee versus Arkansas, Game 1 tonight. You got UTSA versus UCLA, Game 1. Oregon State, Florida State, with Oregon State up 1-0 at the end of the evening, all on the ESPN app or ESPN networks there. So should be a fun one. I'll do a full recap of that on the next podcast and let you know who the 8 teams are going to be in Omaha for the Men's College World Series. Now to the major leagues. The Yankees won Game 1 of the best of 3 series this weekend against the Boston Red Sox and play again tonight and tomorrow. Corbin Burns, good old Tommy John, the Cy Young winner, who was with the Baltimore Orioles and then signed a big contract this offseason with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I was drawing the blank there for a second. He has Tommy John. He is done for the year. Where will Paul Skeens end up? Is he going to get traded? Is he not? Rumor has it he is. He's probably happy if he is because he plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Pirates have no offense to produce for that man. But we'll see what happens. The Tigers still have the best record in the major leagues after beating the Cubs last night. 3 games, 2-1. So in recap, we have Game 2 of the RCBL. Wow, Zach. Losing your train of thought here. Game 2 of the NBA Finals tomorrow on ABC. The Bucks host the Bridgewater Reds tonight, and then they welcome the Broadway Bruins on Tuesday. We have lots of college baseball action this weekend, lots of Major League Baseball this weekend. And NBA Finals Game 2 tomorrow on ABC, and then NHL Stanley Cup Finals Game 3 on Monday. So very fun sports weekend overall. Very good start into the sports of next week. So should be a good one. I'm actually, as soon as I'm done shooting this, as you can see, my Clover Hill clothes over here on the ground next to me. I'm going to change and head up to the ball field as soon as I am done. Shout out Devin Snow for giving me a phone call to say, hey, come up and keep score for us for the baseball camp. So shout out you, Mr. Snow, or as Derek Wallen calls you, Oompa Loompa. But I won't call you that. So if you listen to this, you have more power than to smack me for that one. But Devin Snow, I like you, big guy. Appreciate it. But as always, before we finish up, positive thought for today. Go be you. Yeah, we talked about that. Go be who you want to be. But something I always try to live by personally is be positive. Be loving towards others. This world has so much hate in it. This world has problems in it. We can all admit that. It has hate, it has problems. It doesn't have much love or positivity. It's always a lot of negative, right? Anyone that knows me knows I love to be positive. It's gotten me this far. Always try to be loving when I can. It's gotten me this far. Praise be to God. I've made it this far. So why not be negative? Being positive, in my opinion, is the only way to live life. Because if you're negative, it's just going to make it worse. So be positive. Be a game changer. Be loving towards others. Give someone a compliment today. Be positive. Say, hey, you look good. Hey, how you doing? Hold a door open from somebody. Be positive. Be loving. And go change the world one positive or one loving thought at a time. So be positive. Be loving. Go be you. Go change the world. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys for checking in. And until next time, this is yours truly, KBR, signing off. And as always, go Bucks.